The topic that we'll be talking about is Skill Development Act. Now, why we are studying about Act, it's that it's not a secret that as a country, we were having a problem in terms of apartheid. So apartheid created many problems, but today we are just going to focus on skills. Previously, government was not giving people an opportunity to learn, to be educated in terms of school, in terms of what? Skills. So now the new government, when entered, then they've decided that they will change that so that people, when they are working, they'll be able to accumulate or to gain skills when they are working. So now we will be talking about the purpose of it. When we talk about purpose, we are talking about the aim. Why that act was developed. Why? We've got 6 purposes that we'll be talking about. The first purpose is that this act, it was developed for skills of South Africans in order to improve productivity. What does that mean? It means when you are giving your workers skills, therefore what they will be producing, it will be the best because they've accumulated skills. For example, if you are a builder, if you don't know how to build, if you are trained, given a skill to train, then the production, it will be quicker to be done. Then the second one, it encourages businesses to improve the skills of new existing workers. So now if you've employed one, that new employee, you train that employee, therefore that employee will develop better products. And then the third point, it says invest in education and training of South African workforce. When we talk about workforce, we're talking about the workers. So now if you train the workers, therefore as a country, many companies, they comply with that, they do that, they train there at Pick and Pay, they train there at Bidfest, they train there at different companies. Therefore the workforce of the country, the skills, it will be better of everyone in the country. Way better, way better. And then the fourth one, it was implemented to redress the imbalance that was created by the past government. When we say redress, to change, to redress uchincha lento le ebeyenzwe ile government layer. Now the other purpose is to redress the imbalance that was done by that previously government through education and training. Then the other point is to improve the job prospect of previously disadvantaged people. Now when we talk about previously disadvantaged, we're talking about the group having a opportunity. They were not having an opportunity because of a government, they were oppressed. If you were black, you were not given an opportunity to be trained. You're not given an opportunity to learn. So now through this, the prospect of an individual, we are going to training, then akwazi ukuyothola umsebenzi somewhere else. The last point, it provides the systematic implementation of strategy of national sector and workplace. Now, when they say it provides the implementation of strategy, remember guys, the legislation is strategy that was used by the government. Now, when we conduct or when you do skill development, it means you are implementing the strategy that was used by the government to redress in terms of skills of blacks. Now let's do the impact of skill development on the business. Now when we talk about the impact, we are talking about the positives and the negatives. So now we are going to focus on the positive. Now we've got 6 points in terms of the positives. The first point, it says it increased the number of skilled employees in a country. So now if you are training your workers at work, therefore you improve their skills. That's the first point. The other positive impact, it improves productivity in a workplace. So now if you've trained workers, definitely they'll produce fast because they know how to do. You've trained those people. Now the third point is to increase the global competitiveness of South African businesses. Now when we say global competitiveness, you know the companies, they compete. So now you can compete globally with the companies that are overseas. The following point, it improves the return on investment in terms of education.
That means that the business is going to get the return in a long run because they've trained these people, so they are going to get the return because of the investment that they've made.
Now, the following point, it increased the investment in education and training in labor market. Now, when we talk about labor market in terms of when the companies, they seek people, they are going to seek people who've got skills already.
It improves the delivery of service of businesses because the employees are working at an optimal level. Optimal level, the employees, they are working fully at their full capacity because they are knowledgeable about that content.
That will be the last point in terms of the positive impact. The negative impact of Skill Development Act.
Negative.
We've got 5 of those. Then the first point of it, the implementation of skill development, it is time consuming. Now, for businesses to train people, it takes more time for them. Remember, guys, the business is got its own objectives. They want to make profit. They don't want to focus in terms of their skills. So it is time consuming for the business. The second point, the businesses, they are supposed to pay a certain fund. That fund, we call it a levy. They're supposed to pay that fund so that the government will appoint people, the facilitator, to do what? So that they train your employees. So now it creates a financial burden. That's why it's a disadvantage. It creates a financial burden to a business because they have to pay that fund. The third point, this Skill Development Act, it's not supported by all the companies. Some companies, they don't want because their objective, their aim is just to make profit.
No, I don't want to.
Now, the businesses find it difficult to implement it because you cannot control it. You can tell a person, go there and be trained there. Then when one goes there, one doesn't decide to go somewhere else and do his errands using a business time. For example, the employee is supposed to go somewhere for a training. Therefore, that employee decide to go and pay errands, pay electricity, pay what, using business time. Therefore, the business is losing two monies: the production time as well as the time that person is supposed to be trained there. Then the other point, productivity in a workplace declines, because they take their working time and then they went there for the training now, so the business productivity becomes low. Now, these are not the last points that we'll be talking about in terms of Skill Development Act. In the following video, we'll be talking about how to comply with those acts. The compliance, how, and if you don't complying, what will be the penalties, that will be discussed in the next video. Now, thank you very much for listening to this video. Then I'd like you to subscribe for the following video. Thank you.